Hello, so I'm out in the Pike National Forest and I had some time, so I thought I would review the Tokina 11 to 16 millimeter f2.8 lens. We'll throw it on the camera, get some shots. I'll show you how it does with pictures, how it does with video, and we'll go over all that information. First off, let me get it down so I can give you a close-up of it, show you what comes with the lens, and then we can go from there. Okay, so I found a nice log that my lens wouldn't roll off of, so let's do a little bit of a close-up of the lens. Okay, so the lens is all plastic, but it's pretty robust plastic, like it's a hefty lens. You got your zoom ring right here from 11 to 16. Smooth zoom, so that's pretty nice. Up here we got our focus ring. Right now it's in autofocus. You pull it down and put it in manual focus, as you can see now. Okay. The bummer with this is if it's in autofocus, it doesn't do all full-time manual focus. And also another bummer is if for some reason you pull it down, it will sometimes move this just minutely, but it'll move the focus out of focus a little bit. So up here we have our lens hood. That's included in the box with the lens. Your Tokina lens cap. It's a metal lens mount. Rubber gasket. It's not a weather sealed lens, but it does have a rubber gasket to help with dust and water protection. But I would not bring this out in the rain. Okay. And then for comparison, here is my Canon 70-200 f4 lens, and you can see that it's quite a big lens compared to the Canon 70-200 millimeter. They also weigh about the same size, so just give you an idea of how big the lens is. Okay, I wanted to try and show you a problem I have with this lens. I'm not the only one that has it. Sometimes the aperture blades stick, so I'm going to try and show you. If you look down, my aperture blades are stuck at f22 right now. The only way I can really get that undone is if I bang the lens a little bit on my hand, like lightly, and then I have to keep putting it on the camera until they unstick, and then it'll work okay for a little bit. I'm sorry it's so loud, but I wanted to capture some of the landscape while I was testing this lens, so that's why we're by this little waterfall. But anyways, currently the lens is at 11 millimeters. I'm going to slowly crank it to 16 millimeters. Let's go back to 11 millimeters, and then 16 millimeters. So as you can see, it's not a huge zoom range. Tokina makes another lens that's 11 to 20, but that lens is also a little bit more expensive, and from what I've heard, is not as sharp as this lens. Alright, so I'm just hand holding the lens now because I just want to kind of show you what it's like if you wanted to use it for vlogging, I guess. This lens does not have image stabilization, so that is going to be a problem, but since it is such a wide angle lens, you don't really necessarily need it so much. As you can see, this is at full arm's length, so I'm holding the camera pretty close to my face. Even at 16 millimeters, I'm still holding it pretty close. Okay, let me just walk around with it real quick. As you can see, it's kind of bumpy. There we go. Smooth zoom. Alright, so I'm in an area that's more quiet because I wanted to demonstrate how loud the autofocus is. So if you're planning on using this with video work, you need to have a microphone that's not attached to the camera. Right now I'm using a Rode mic that's attached to the hot shoe, and you're going to hear the autofocus, just how loud it is. And then I might disconnect it and just show you what the internal microphones sound like with the autofocus. So let's see if I can get it to start hunting. Alright, so I just want to close out my little review on this lens, if you could call it that. So I think it's a great lens for photography. You know, you got a low f-stop, so you can take low light pictures better. Great for sunsets, great for astrophotography. For video work, not so much. As you can tell probably from this video, loud autofocus, no image stabilization. It's more of a photo lens than it is a video lens. At least that's the way I feel about it. I'm pretty sure you could get it to work with the wide angle like I was showing before, holding it on my hand. You know, I can hold it pretty close to myself. I don't have to hold it real far off, so I can get my whole big head in the frame. So just be aware of that. Another thing you need to be aware with this lens is the problems. So my particular copy of the lens, the aperture blades stick. So anytime I turn the power off or remove the lens from the camera, the moment I put it back on the camera and change the aperture, they will stick, and I have to take the lens back off, lightly tap it on my hand to get them to unstick. And it used to not be that bad, but today it's getting pretty bad, especially when my camera auto powers off. Every time I power it back on, I have to take the lens off to get those blades to unstick. So beware. I've heard a lot of problems with this lens, not particularly that problem, which brings us into our next part. If you're going to buy this lens, buy it from a Tokina authorized retailer. So if you buy it off of Amazon, make sure Amazon's the one selling it, or one of the storefronts that is an authorized dealer. And there's not very many of them. And actually today I tried to find that list of authorized retailers and I could not find it. So just make sure you're buying it from an authorized retailer. You might be better off buying this particular lens through like B&H or Adorama. Also, their website, you can go on there and do a search for your city and see who is an authorized retailer for this lens, because if you have a problem with it, you want to make sure you get that 3-year warranty and you're not SOL and have a broken lens. So after I'm done with this particular review, I'm sending it in for repairs because this is a little ridiculous. So just be aware that you might have those problems with this lens. So I'm just going to pop up some pictures real quick that I took when I was here today and at the Black Canyon National Park in Gunnison, Colorado. Also, I'm going to throw up a Milky Way shot that I took with this lens. It's a great shot. So it just kind of will show you real quick what you can do with this lens, especially for astrophotography, landscape photography. So take a look at these, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comment. Thank you.